Hi everyone, it's Kieran with Thrifted Living. So for today's video, I would like to share with you 3 easy Dollar Tree DIYs that are inspired by Chip and Joanna Gaines' new line, Hearth Hand, that is now in stores at Target. So grab your hot glue and your spray paint and let's get crafting. I have always been a huge fan of Fixer Upper and of Chip and Joanna Gaines. I think they are so sweet and I have always loved all of the projects that they do and how they turn out. After taking inspiration from their new line and going to Dollar Tree to get everything that I needed, I came up with 3 fun and easy DIY projects. So to get started on these projects, you will need some of these go your own way signs. I have found several of these at Dollar Tree. I absolutely love them. I think they're so cute and I like them because they look like it's almost like a panel, like of several different pieces. I really like how that looks. So I purchased 4 of them for this first project. I first needed to prepare these for spray paint, so what I did was I took the nails out that attached the yarn to the actual piece of wood, and I didn't discard the nails, I kept them for a future project. Once I had removed all of the nails and the yarn, I flipped it over and I started to untie the rope that was being used as a handle. I then took the pieces of wood outside and applied a coat of gray spray paint onto them. I think it looks really nice. I wanted to use white spray paint, but you guys know I use white all the time. I thought that the gray would look really nice, and don't worry, there is some white spray paint later in this video. I then laid the pieces of wood next to each other. I used 4 for this project, and I laid them next to each other to make sure that they were all lined up. Once the 4 pieces were laid out and they were all lined up and I was happy with how they looked, I actually used super glue to attach them to each other. I went back and forth trying to figure out what product I wanted to use, but at the end of it, I decided to use only things that came from the Dollar Tree, and I got this super glue at the Dollar Tree. I simply applied a line of glue on all of the edges that would be connected to another edge, and I just pushed them up against each other just to make sure everything was really secure. It was pretty wet for quite a while. I did let it dry for almost a full 24 hours before I even moved it, and I would also suggest doing this on something, maybe something that's plastic where you can easily move it later on. I actually did it on a piece of cardboard, and some of the cardboard got stuck to the glue, obviously, but it did dry really nicely. It also helps to have somebody help you, and my assistant for this part of the video is my husband, Sean. While I let the boards dry, I assembled the wreath, and I am so happy with how this project turned out, and it was so easy to do. So the first thing that you need are some pieces of greenery from Dollar Tree. There are some really beautiful leaves at the Dollar Tree right now, and they have a bunch of different colors and different sizes. I chose to use the ones that were solid green. I just really liked how they looked. So I simply just cut them off of the stem that they were on. I cut all of them at once. I then went through and selected the bigger leaves and I attached them on the bottom of the wreath as like the bottom layer of the leaves, and I just used some hot glue. I had the leaves all facing the same direction. I feel like it gave it a more authentic look to what you might see in the Hearth Hand line or even in their Magnolia line. So I just went through and attached as many leaves as I could. I wanted to make it look very full. I also made sure to attach leaves on the bottom and on the inside as well. I didn't want there to be any wood exposed. Once the boards were dry, it was time to attach the wreath to the boards, and I was a little nervous to do this because I knew that I would only have one good shot where I wouldn't have any of the residue of the hot glue on it to get it right. So I lined everything up and made sure that I liked the placement, and then I simply put hot glue on the bottom. I put a good amount of hot glue on the bottom and I attached it to the board. I absolutely love how this mounted wreath looks. For this next project, you will need a wire basket from the Dollar Tree. I suggest this rectangular size, and you will also need some more of those boards. And as I said earlier, I made sure to get some white spray paint in these DIYs. So I simply took the boards outside, spray painted them white, and then I took the basket outside and spray painted it gold. I love how the gold turned out. I then reattached the ropes that I had taken off prior to spray painting, and that was a little difficult in itself. I actually took a very thin knitting needle and I was able to use that to kind of guide the rope through the hole, which made it a lot easier. Once I put the rope through the hole, I then just secured it with a knot in the back. I then placed the basket on the board to get an idea of how it would look. I wanted to make sure that I really liked it before I started the next step. The next step is to actually take those little nails that attach the yarn to the board and use them to attach the basket to the board. Now, it does work, but I don't think it's the ideal way to make this stay on. If I did this project again, I would probably use super glue or something like that to attach it to the board. I just think it would have a more secure hold. So what I did was take those little nails and actually attach them to the wire basket using very small little holes that were in the wire basket. It's kind of hard to explain, but pretty much there are tiny holes where the top of the basket meets the actual wire part, like the grid part, and so I actually just took the nails and I stuck them right in those tiny little holes. This last project was so easy to do. You will need a rectangular frame for this project, and you will also need some of these magnetic letters. I absolutely love these. They are a relatively new product at Dollar Tree. I first took the frame outside and of course applied a layer of white spray paint. I then set the glass aside. I actually didn't want to use it for this project. I did, however, keep the white paper because it is the perfect backdrop for the letters. I chose to use the word bake in this project because I want to actually hang this in our kitchen. And so I simply took the letters and laid them out just to make sure that I liked the placement and that they were all even. Once I was happy with the placement of the letters, I then took my hot glue gun and applied usually 1 or 2 drops behind each letter. Just this little bit of glue was really able to secure the letters and keep them sturdy on the paper. They did not move at all once they hit the paper. Once I was happy with how all of the letters looked, I then took the word bake and put it inside of the frame. I am so happy with how all of these Hearth and Hand inspired Dollar Tree DIYs turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing these projects and I hope that you give them a try for yourself. They were so easy to do. If you give them a try, please make sure you share a picture with me of your finished product on my Instagram or on my Facebook page. You can find me at both locations at Thrifted Living. Please check out my blog at thriftedlivingblog.com. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!